Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my April TBR, and like, how is it April already? Like, I don't get it. I feel like this year is absolutely flying by, but I feel like that's how just about every year is. I feel like we all say that like all the time. But anyway, so it is time for another round of TBR Land. So we're going to go ahead and get into the rolls and seeing how many books I'm going to be picking. So I did read all the books on my TBR except for one. I did have one DNF, so I will be going back one space. So we will be starting one space further back than where we ended last month. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get on into the rolls and how many books I'm going to be reading this month and everything like that. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Okay, sorry about the glare. I'm going to roll a 12-sided die to see how many picks we're doing this month. 9. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. Okay, since I had a DNF last month, I will have to move back one space, and since it was a mystery thriller that I did not read, I will be moving back to this orange space right here, and this is where we will be starting this month's game off at. At this point, I'm not sure if we will need to pick a new character color, but if we do, put in the comments what color you guys would like to play with next. The options are green, blue, and yellow. So with that, let's go ahead with pick number 1. Prompt. Okay, so our prompt, a book you don't know anything about plot-wise. Okay, so pick number 1 was the Lollipop, which is a prompt. And so our prompt was a book you don't know anything about plot-wise. And for this, I'm picking You Between the Lines by Katie Naiman. I literally don't know anything about this book. I do not know what this book is about. If I had to guess, it is about some like people in a play, and I think that is like not even remotely correct. So I literally have no idea what this book is about. I think I literally saw it and then just decided to pre-order it, and that's literally it. So this is my book for pick number 1. Pick number 2, double mystery thriller. Pick number 2 is a double mystery thriller. And so for this one, I'm going with The Other Guest by Helen Cooper. And I recently picked this book up not too long ago. It sounded interesting, so I'm definitely interested to read this and hopefully I like it. And for the second pick for the mystery thriller, I'm going with Count My Lies by Sophie Stava. I just got this as my book of the month book in March, and I've been seeing this book pretty much everywhere, so I'm super excited to pick this up and hopefully I'm going to enjoy it. Pick number 3, fantasy. Pick number 3 was a fantasy, and for this fantasy, I'm going with Lady of Ashes by Melissa K. Rourke. This is the 3rd book in the Lady of Darkness series. I think that's the name of the series, and this series has had me in a chokehold over the last like week or so. So I figured I needed to put book 3 on the TBR. I'm actually about to finish book 2 and I'm really enjoying the series. I'm absolutely eating it up. So book 3, it's actually on its way in the mail and it should be here in a couple days. So this is my fantasy pick for this prompt. Pick number 4, mystery thriller. So for pick number 4, I got another mystery thriller. And so for this mystery thriller, I decided to go with Good Girl, Bad Blood. This is the 2nd book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. This is the sequel. And from my understanding, this follows a completely different storyline than the first one. So even though we're following the same characters, it's following like a completely different storyline. So I don't think you necessarily have to read them in order. It's just better that you do to get like kind of an understanding of the characters and everything like that. So I will be picking this up for that pick and hopefully I enjoy this book. Pick number 5, double romantasy. Pick number 5 was a double romantasy, and so for this double romantasy, the first book is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the second book in the Phantasma duology series situation. I'm not exactly sure how many books it is going to be, but this book comes out on April 8th, so I'm super excited to read this. I read Phantasma in 2024 and absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite books of the year, and so I'm super excited to read Enchantra. I've been hearing super great things about it from the few reviews that I have seen about it so far, and so I cannot wait to pick this up in April. And then the second book that I'm planning on reading for this card is Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straube, and I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that last name, but I saw this book at Books A Million not too long ago and I had to pick it up. The sprayed edges on it are absolutely stunning. These are probably some of the most beautiful sprayed edges I've ever seen in my entire life, and I feel like it matches the cover of the book so well. This book used to be called Split or Swallow, and so I wasn't sure if this was like the second book in the series or what, but it seems like that book had been traditionally published and they changed the name as well as the cover. So I'm not exactly sure what this is about, but I know that this is a romantasy and I'm super excited to hopefully get to this in the month of April. Pick number 6, literary fiction. Okay, so we've made it to the castle at this point, so I'm just going to continue picking to see, and if I don't read any of the books, then I will have to move. So we will need a new character color for next month. Pick number 6 was a literary or contemporary fiction. And so for this literary or contemporary fiction pick, I'm going with The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I got this in my January Book of the Month box, and I've been hearing absolutely amazing things about this book and this story. And so I'm super excited to pick it up. Hopefully I can get to this in April. I've heard such amazing things about this book and it has made me so anticipated to read this book. So I cannot wait to pick this book up in April. Pick number 7, literary fiction. Pick number 7 was another contemporary or literary fiction, and for this pick I'm picking The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjan Kamali, and this is a book that I've been hearing again such amazing things about. This was a Book of the Month 2024 Lolly finalist. This was the only book out of the finalists that I did not read or did not own, and so I decided to pick this one up. I did hear amazing things about this book, so I'm definitely interested to see what I'm going to think about this, and yeah, so I'm super excited to hopefully get to this one in April. Pick number 8, young adult. Pick number 8 was a young adult, and for young adult, I'm going with Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. This is the second book in the Crimson Moth duology. I read Heartless Hunter in March and absolutely loved it, and literally I'm so excited to pick this book up. I am probably going to be picking this book up here within the next couple of days. I'm so excited to continue on in the series and see how this duology concludes. I just absolutely loved the first book, and I feel like it is absolutely worth all of the hype and cannot wait to continue on this series. And pick number 9, fantasy. And for our 9th and final pick, we got a fantasy, and so for this fantasy, I'm going with The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole. This is the second book in the Book of Azrael series. I'm not sure what the actual title of the series is, but I read the Book of Azrael in 2024, like close to the end of the year, and I have been hearing that the third book is like the best book that's out in the series, and that this series continues to get better as each book comes out. And I know that book 4 in the series is supposed to come out sometime this year as well, and so I figured why not just continue reading series. So I figured I would pick this one up. Plus I'm in such a big fantasy mood right now that I'm just like eating up every single fantasy book that I can get my hands on. So I figured that I would go ahead and continue on with this series. So I'm super excited to hopefully get to this book in the month of April as well. So these are the books that are on my April TBR, obviously, plus a few that I don't currently have with me, but I am super excited about all of these books and I cannot wait to hopefully read all of them in April. I am just so in a fantasy reading mood that I feel like I'm going to get to a majority of these and hopefully I'm going to enjoy them. I feel like my TBR Land game was pretty kind to me with the amount of fantasy books that it was able to put on the TBR, so I am really excited about that. But that is going to be all for today's video. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these or if you're planning on reading of these. And if you have made it to this point in the video, leave a key emoji for this key that is on the front of Rebel Witch, because I feel like this is probably one of my most anticipated books for the month. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!